Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and in this one I'm playing with a collage paper from Scrap FX, and it's got these graffiti style images on it. So I'm using this one here. It's got these lovely bluey greeny tones in the background, and this is I think it's called Graffiti Text Stencil from Scrap FX, and I'm using a sponge roller just to quickly apply some paint through the stencil. So I'm going for that kind of almost like a spray painted look, and I do have some acrylic spray paints, but I was being lazy, couldn't be bothered to go outside, so I kind of figured that this technique would work just as well. And you can see it does give a really nice application of paint, and it's, you know, it's not always completely opaque all the way through. So then I'm just going in with a peacock and then ocean over the top, just to add a little bit of colour over the top of that white stenciling on the background. Then this is marine, I'm pretty sure, like a really greeny blue dark. It's a lovely dark colour. I'm just adding some touches of that around the edge, so I'm kind of just grunging this up a little bit really. Here I'm applying some matte medium onto the page using an old gift card, just to keep that collage paper laying nice and flat, and because sometimes it's a nice quick way to get your image down on the page. Then there were some little crowns drawn on the page, and so I thought using my Signo Uniball I'd pull those into the foreground and just draw some on the page too. But you will see later on in the video that I end up disappearing these because I don't like them. And I think certainly when you add things like this onto your page using something like a Signo Uniball, they're easy enough to remove if the background is dry, and especially if it's acrylic paint and once it's dry it's permanent. It is quite easy to lift paint off. I have managed to lift Posca pen off before, but it does have to not be completely dry, otherwise it just won't come off, and you are best off just painting over the top. So once I've added those, I'm then going in and using an old piece of cardboard tubing just to add some circular stamping onto my page. This is an old glue stick that's empty, and I'm just using one of those to do a slightly smaller circle on the page as well. But now you can see those crowns are kind of clashing a little bit with the circles, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on now in this background. And then I was adding dots. Oh dear. So yeah, in a few minutes you'll see that I go in with a baby wipe and just lift those crowns off, and the page looks completely different. So really don't be afraid to play with your backgrounds. You know, if you put things on and you don't like it, get rid of it. Paint over it. Try wiping it away. Just play with it until you feel that it works. I do sometimes, I mean, look, that's so different, and it just works now because the circles work on the background. Those crowns were just adding too many things to look at. Your eye didn't really know where to look first, and it was detracting attention from that focal image, which is really cool. So this is a paintbrush stencil, also from Scrap FX, and here I'm using magenta because I wanted a little contrast colour on my page as well. So this is a nice little bit of stenciling, just to add a pop of pink on there too. And then I'm using the Signo Uniball and going back in and adding some more dots. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want some of those dots to layer over the top of the stenciling I've just done, because then it just helps it all marry together. When those layers are overlapping and you can peep through one layer to see another layer, that's the kind of look that I love to create in my art journals. And here I am outlining this figure because it is disappearing into the background. And with hindsight, I think I would have put a bit of white behind just to help the image pop out a little bit. But doing this just pulls that image forwards. and means that you can see it a bit more. So now I'm using this arrow stencil. Stencils like this are great because obviously with it being an arrow, it's very directional and it's easy to help use those to draw attention to an area on your journal. Also, I'm going in with black here because it's a great contrast colour. So I've got the pop of white, a little bit of black, always adds those extra dimensions to your journal pages. And it's a really easy way to just make it all sit together really nicely. Then I wanted a quote, and I did spend quite a long time faffing about. This is Daphne Dot from Scrap FX, designed by Michelle Logan, and I'm just using one of the quotes from here because it worked really well with this page. This was definitely an attitude-y sort of page, and when I saw this quote I was like, yeah, that is perfect. So I'm just popping that onto my page. And adding some neon pink dots using a Molotow marker in neon pink, obviously. And that is about it, I think, for this page. I don't think there was much more going on once I'd added these dots, and I felt I'd got the different levels of contrast, the little pops of nice bright colour with the black and white. And yeah, so really I guess the thing that comes out from this video is how easy it can be to put too much into your background. But don't be afraid if you do that to just try getting rid of it, lift it off in one way or another, paint over it, rub it away and try again. So thanks for watching. I hope you found some inspiration from this video, and I do hope to see you again soon.